Michael Shikha Niketan Higher Secondary Government-sponsored co-ed English medium school has taken an excellent initiative of teaching and make our students learn day-to-day lessons through audio and video in our YouTube channel. Teachers of all the subjects are working hard to enhance these online classes in the midst of this pandemic situation. It is a request to all the teachers, students and guardians to click the bell icon and subscribe our channel.
So today we are going to start a chapter called Evolution and Adaptation, which is under the syllabus of class 10. So on this topic, today we are going to talk about the theories of evolution, okay. Now before getting into the theories, this part is very important for your Madhyamik perspective, because each and every year, some way or the other, the different types of questions come from this part, okay. So before getting into these theories, let me give you a brief introduction about what evolution as a whole is, okay. So evolution is actually a gradual change that takes place in the environment and among the organisms, living organisms, in course of time due to the various changes taking place within them as a result of the environmental changes, okay. Because environment, it never remains the same all the time, it changes. So as the environment changes, it also changes different, it also gradually results in the change within the organisms, okay. So this gradual change is can be called as evolution as the simplest sense. You cannot describe or define evolution like that in just as I did in one sentence, because evolution is a vast topic, okay. It's a vast topic under the biology, but today as far as your syllabus tells, we are going to discuss about the theories of evolution, okay. Now there are various theories of evolution, various biologists and naturalists have given so many different theories on evolution, but out of them we in our syllabus have the major two, which is the Lamarckism and the Darwinism, okay. Now if you look through, I have just given the brief introduction or the brief description of each of them. I have just maintained only the headings, which I will be explaining in details. Okay. So first now Lamarckism. Lamarckism was, as the name suggests, Lamarck was a French biologist, okay. He was a French biologist, and Lamarck wrote a book. This is very important. This is very important. The book written by Lamarck was Philosophic Zoologique. In this book, he had given a number of postulates, or you can also write them as characters, of his theory of evolution. He had given certain points according to him, which he thought that this was the correct procedure of evolution along the course of time. So what were the characters that he had said? Now the theory of evolution that was put forward by Lamarck is known as Lamarckism, okay. Now what are the postulates? The first postulate which he said were new needs and their effects. What does it mean? It basically means that the different changes in the environment is building up, or is results in the gradual building up of different types of new needs among organisms, okay. Now I will give you an example. Suppose suddenly some kind of a natural disaster take place over here. Suppose an earthquake, or might be a meteor shower. Now when there is a meteor shower, what will we probably do? If there is a if there is a tendency of constant meteor showers in a particular place, then people, they tend to build houses under the ground or in the basement, right, for them, so that when the showers happen, so that they can go down and then they can stay there in order to survive, right. So similarly, Lamarck has detected that different kinds of environmental changes within the organism, in the environment, results in the gradual change within the this new needs develop within the organism. Now what happens due to these needs? Now as the new needs they develop, so according to the needs, the organisms tend to use certain things more than the others, right? So from there comes the next postulate or the next character, that is the use and disuse. So Lamarck said, so due to this changes in the environment, the new needs which develop within the organisms results in the usage of certain organs or certain parts of the body more than the other. Okay, so you disuse some organs or you use some more organs more than the others. Now, what would that lead to? That would generally lead to the acquired characters. Now, what will happen in course of time? The part of the body that a particular organism is using currently tends to be acquired in the next generation, or that particular organisms tend to acquire that character within itself, and not only acquire it himself but also inherit that acquired character to the next generation. I will give you an example. Remember, I am not telling that he was correct. I am just telling the features which were put forward by Lamarck. Okay, so according to Lamarck, the examples which he put forward were the most famous one was that of a giraffe. Okay, now he said thousands and thousands of years ago there was a drought. Okay, and there were the giraffes in the jungle. Okay, and what they used to eat? The giraffes and they used to, according to Lamarck, the giraffes initially had short necks. They were not possessing longer necks before. So initially, according to him, all the giraffes, they had short necks, and they used to feed on the grasses and the bushes and shrubs, the trees which were of lesser height. Okay. Now what happened? Suddenly there was in course of time some environmental change occurred, and maybe due to some drought, the grasses and the lower trees, they died. Okay. Now what happened? The giraffes they do not have anything to eat. Now what will they do? They tried to reach for the longer trees. Okay, they tried to reach for the leaves of the longer trees, thus trying to stretch their necks above. Okay, so that is what he said. So suddenly what happened? This neck became a reason. This became a reason to use the neck more than the other part of the body. Right. So that is use and disuse. So they started using their neck so much, which resulted in the gradual elongation of the neck. That was put forward by Lamarck. He thought that due to this constant use of this neck and trying to elongate it as far as possible to reach for the top leaves, the necks of the giraffe, they became longer. And since that condition, or since that neck resulted in the betterment of that organism, they were able to have the leaves and they could survive. That is why that long neck slowly and gradually was inherited to the next generation. So that is inheritance of acquired characters. Okay. So these are the four postulates or the four characters of Lamarckism which he thought was correct. Now, initially everybody believed that, since there was nobody to counter him, but as time passed, there were various other scientists working on the same field. They were also working on the various aspects of evolution, and they thought about experimenting this. Whatever Lamarck said, it needed an experimentation, right? So Weismann was one of the most famous critics of Lamarck, who did a very famous experiment on rats. Now what did he do? He brought some rats and he used to cut their tail off. They used to cut their tail off. He used to do that. And up to 22 generations, he kept on cutting the tail of the little rats when they were very little or they were young. Okay. But it was astonishing to find that he found out that after every birth or every time this new rat, whenever a new rat was born, it was born with a normal tail. So it struck on his mind that how are these characters then validating itself? They are not getting any validation, because according to Lamarck, when you are using one organ more or you are disusing, you are stopping to use an organ, it disappears. Right? According to him, according to Lamarck. But that did not happen. The rat, almost whenever he used to cut the tail of the rat, he did not use that tail anymore, that particular rat, in his entire life. Now it was supposed to be inherited, and it was supposed to be inherited to the next generation, but it never happened. Okay, so that was one of the critiques of Lamarck, criticism of Lamarck, that Weizmann did this experiment of rats, and he proved that this might not be the case. Use and disuse was definitely not the case, as was detected by him. Then another example, which were again proved, like piercing of nose and ears. We know that piercing of nose and ears is a very common phenomenon, or very common tradition that takes place throughout the various among the various tribes and various types of races of people. Even we do it. We pierce our nose and our ears. But do our children, or whenever everybody is doing like this for the every generation, it doesn't happen that our child is born with a pierced nose or a pierced ear just like that, right? It doesn't happen. So definitely all these were enough to prove his theory wrong. Okay. So Lamarck's theory was completely proven wrong. Now we are coming to, now came another person, the most important, one of the most important person who had given the most treasured, you can say the most treasured theory of evolution, that was put forward by Charles Darwin. And it is very astonishing to know that Charles Darwin was not a biologist. He had a degree of BA. He was a Bachelor of Arts. He had a degree of BA, and he was a clergy. He was a clergy. So you can imagine that knowledge is basically, it has nothing to do with your stream, or which stream you choose, right? Whether you are from a science background or arts background, it doesn't matter. Because if you are devoted, if you are passionate about something, you can learn it, whatever stream you are from. So Darwin, and do you know that Darwin's father was a very famous physician, and he wanted his son to be a doctor. He wanted his son to take up medicine as well. But Darwin was never interested in medicine. Okay, so that is why he opted for this clergyship. So what happened? So Darwin wrote another book. This is another very important point. Questions come from here. That is Origin of Species. Okay, he wrote this in 1959. Now this was the book, a very famous book, in which he put forward his theory of evolution. Okay. So what were the basic postulates, or again I would say characters, put forward by Darwin? Now the first character was prodigality of reproduction. Now what is prodigality of reproduction? Prodigality of reproduction means Darwin thought, or Darwin said, that each and every organism has an enormous fertility rate. Each of them are capable of producing enormous number of organisms. Insects, they produce thousands and thousands of eggs, right? And there are so many other bacteria, and everybody, they are capable of producing huge number of organisms. So that is his first character, or that is his first postulate that he put forward for the theory of evolution. But it cannot go on like this. If it would have happened, like if every organism would have produced enormous number of offsprings every time, then it was not possible. The earth would become absurdly overpopulated, right? But it never happens. Does it happen? Do we see the thousands and thousands of eggs laid by the mosquito in a day? Do they all survive? No, they don't survive. So that became his next postulate. He said that the limitation of space and food, this was limited. Your fertility rate may not be limited, but your food and space is definitely limited. You cannot increase, or you cannot increase the amount of space which was given on the earth. It was limited, right? So what happened? Due to this limitation of food and space, what happened? Competition happened. That means some of them died. Who got the food? Whoever got the food could survive, and who did not get food or space, they died. So that was his third theory. So then came, from limitation of food and space, came the next character, that is the struggle for existence. Now this struggle for existence meant, due to the limitation of food and space, They had to struggle. They had to compete to reach their food and to stay in a space. So this struggle for existence is basically of three types according to according to Darwin, which were number one was the intraspecific struggle. Intraspecific struggle. Now intraspecific means when you are competing with your, say for example, when you are competing with your own brothers, right? So when there is a competition for food and space between two similar species, suppose two lions or three lions or one pride of a lion fighting with another pride of a lion for food. So that is intraspecific struggle. The next type of struggle which came is the interspecific struggle. What is that? Where this one pride of lion is constantly in a competition with a pride, with a group of deer as well, because the deer has to also compete to live for space and food in order to survive, right? If he wants to survive, then he had to compete with the lion from not being caught. So that is also a type of struggle. And not only that, but a tiger is also, or a leopard, not a tiger, because lions and tigers, they don't live together in any part of this world. You can say leopards or hyenas, the same trophic level, they are different species, but they are also competing with each other for food and space, right? So the last type of this was interspecific, and the last one was environmental struggle. Now what is environmental struggle? After all this struggle, you still have another one left, where you have to fight the nature as well, because the nature is also presenting you with different kinds of struggles. For example, the environment, if there is suddenly there is some sort of a drought, or if there is sudden cold, or if there is suddenly the temperature, this global warming. So this kind of environmental struggle, they also happen all the time within the environment. So that is also a type of struggle which all the organisms have to go through. So now what happened due to these struggles? Now this struggle for existence, now one thing that Darwin maintained that was completely distinct from Lamarck was he had always said that different types of organisms had different types of characters. This was not put forward by Lamarck. Lamarck believed that initially all the giraffes had shorter necks. Okay, but according to Darwin, he said that different types of organisms, they had different characters which were completely different from each other. Okay, now this presented them with a better position to fight with the environmental changes. Okay, so this is the next theory, that is variation. He believed that different types of organisms had different types of characters, which resulted in natural selection, the most important part of Darwin's theory, the natural selection. Now he thought that these different characters which were present in the environment resulted in the selection of only the better ones than the others, and this selection was done by the nature. I'll give you an example. It's very easy. Suppose from a pool of candidates applying for a job, only one or two get selected. Now why do they get selected? Because they definitely have better qualities than the others. That is why the others succumb to this competition, while these two who have been selected, they have the favorable characters, or they have the characters which are needed by that particular organism or organization. That is why they took them, right? The similar thing takes place in the environment. When an environment throws you a problem, there are certain things which needs to be done against it, but all of them cannot do them. All of them cannot solve that problem. Whoever could solve that problem and could prove themselves by surviving in that environment, they stayed or they were selected, while the others, those who could not, they succumbed and they died. And in this way, different types of, like the dinosaurs on the saber-tooths, right, the mammoths, they all were present once, but due to the ice age and due to their some kind of environmental unfavorable conditions that were presented to them, they could not survive, and that is why they died. The dinosaurs, they died, but you have to remember about crocodiles who were present during the dinosaurs period as well, but they could survive because they definitely had some characters which allowed them to survive through this long period of time. So that was natural selection. Now what resulted in natural selection? This natural selection resulted in the survival of the fittest, which I told you, that the best among the lot got selected. So the fittest, those who was now what is the word? And here among humans it can be academics, it can be qualities, it can be quantity, whatever. But in case of environment, fitness means only one thing, that is the reproductive fitness. If you are reproductively capable of producing fitter organisms, fitter offsprings, then you get selected, otherwise you don't. So survival of the fittest, and which resulted in the origin of species. That means that resulted in the origin of species, when new species they originated. Okay? Okay. So now I am going to give you some important questions. I have written some important questions regarding this Lamarckism and Darwinism. The first question is, name the books written by Lamarck and Darwin, which I have already given you. You can go back and see to the video. The next is, write the characters of Lamarckism, that is we have to put forward the features which Lamarck put forward in his theory. Then why do you think Lamarck's theory failed? You have to write why do you think Lamarck failed, or what was the reason for his failures? How was Darwin's theory a breakthrough among most of the theories of evolution put forward? Now here you have to mention that why do you think that Darwin's theory acted as a breakthrough, that means it was so famous, it was suddenly accepted by everybody. Then what is natural selection? How is it related to the survival of the fittest? This I have told you in the video itself, and state the different types of struggle that existed in the environment, where you have to give about the 3 different kinds of life struggles which I told you, the intraspecific, interspecific and the environmental struggle. So I hope you will be solving each of these questions, and if you have any problem regarding it, you can write in comments, and I'll try to solve each of your problems. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like and comment. Subscribe. And do share the video among your friends.